great arena, the Rose Bowl. It's another one of those games in the Pac Ten Conference. The Oregon Ducks coming south to meet the UCLA Bruins in a game that has had a circle around it the entire season. And as you can see in the standings, there is little room for error if you have plans for a postseason trip. And all those people do have such plans. The weather, mid-70s, dry. Fever level for the game approaching 500 degrees. UCLA without their running back DeShaun Foster. Oregon concerned about what it might mean. That's coming up. When defensive coordinators have to look at the Oregon Ducks, sleep can be scarce. This Oregon team comes at you from every direction possible. Stop the air game, they run over you. Stop the ground game, they fly over you. And home cooking doesn't seem to matter. They may even play better on the road. But let's say it again, beware the wounded bear. UCLA, smarting from successive losses, beat up and disappointed, can still claw a hole in a November dream, and the Ducks know it. Hello again, everybody, and welcome to college football on ABC Sports here in Pasadena. You've heard that old well-worn phrase. I'm tired of it, so I'll say the fate is in their own hands rather than destiny. The Oregon Ducks now have their finger on the control. If they can win here today, then they have a chance to go to the Fiesta Bowl because they hold the tie-breaking advantages over the two Washington schools. Here come the Bruins into the stadium. Tim Brandt, it would seem to me the burden is heavier today on Oregon.
But you know what, Keith? This is a very confident group. You're right. There is a lot of burden, but they're talented. And I'll tell you what makes them so good is the fact they hit you from so many different directions with so many weapons. And it all starts with Joey Harrington, the senior at quarterback. He gets everybody involved. He knows he's got two outstanding running backs in Smith and Morris. Smith had almost 300 yards in one game 2 weeks ago. Keenan Howry. Every time he makes a catch, it's for a first down or a touchdown. And then Justin Peele, the tight end, is extremely dangerous. This is a run-pass formation. What do? They go to Keenan Howry, touchdown. They hit you from every direction. They're very balanced.
Replacing DeShaun Foster for UCLA. There are people to do it because these people wearing UCLA colors didn't fall off the turnip truck. No. They were invited.
That's right. 4 straight great recruiting years, and now Akil Harris and Manny White get their turn at tailback. But I'll tell you something else, too. They're going to have some fun today. Corey Paws comes back. His thumb's okay. He starts at quarterback. But look out, folks. Here's Matt Ware, the freshman sensation on defense. 5 interceptions. He might play some quarterback today. They'll run some options, some reverse. He may be a wide receiver. You know what they're going to do? They're going to open up the playbook. Maybe make up a playbook. Have some fun, but let the athletes play.
We play on real grass at the Rose Bowl, as I'm sure most of you know. Oregon won the toss, and they want the ball. So the Ducks want to get things going offensively at the outset. So UCLA will hunker down here as Bob Toledo has had his psychological skills tested this week with all that which has been going on. Alan Amundsen and Sammy Parker are the deep people for the Oregon Ducks. And this big ball game of the Pac 10 is underway. A low line drive kick that's going to go through the end zone, beyond the field of play, and Oregon will start at the 20. And the quarterback for the Oregon Ducks, again, a very well-known persona because of Billboard, particularly across the country and in New York. Joey is 22-3 as a starter for the Oregon Ducks. He is from Portland, so he is literally a native son who has done so very well. And the man can do a lot of things, but more than anything else, he can lead a football team.
Well, that's right, and he gets everybody involved, and I think that could be one of his greatest assets.
So here we go with the first play for the Oregon Ducks. They turn around, and Harrington, little play action, throws it, and it's well covered for Justin Peele. He tried to go to his tight end right off the bat, and it didn't work. So it'll be second down and 10. The backs and receivers for the Ducks. Morris and Ontario Smith will double up at tailback. Justin Peele, the tight end, has caught a lot of balls. Keenan Howry and Sammy Parker are primary targets, and in particular Howry. The offensive line, very few sacks for Oregon this year, and these are the guys who have made that possible. It's a good tested group with Ryan Schmidt, the leader of that group.
Usually when they're in this formation right behind Harrington, straight eye, they run the football.
Yep. pull it down on a little bit of quarterback draw. He looked like he might have had some idea of throwing it, or it might have been a quarterback draw, but when he looked to see what was developing, all he saw was Robert Thomas. The defensive front for the UCLA Bruins, Coleman, Coker, Leslie Ball, these are muscle guys. They can put some pressure on you. The linebackers are the busy guys, and Thomas, you just saw right there what he can do to you. All of them are very, very quick. The ball is sitting back on the 18-yard line, which means the pass play is coming up, and the secondary will be the ones to get tested. And Matt Ware, as Tim told you, is going to go both ways possibly before this ball game is done.
There's Howry right there.
They roll it a little bit. Harrington has time, throws the bullet. The pass is completed to George Wrightster. They come with a double tight end alignment, and Wrightster comes down the middle and makes the catch, move the chains, first down Ducks.
There's another great asset of Joey Harrington. Now he looked at Keenan Howry, saw him covered. Two tight end situation right here. Are they covered? Watch them. They come down, find open areas, and then on the right of your screen is Wrightster. Perfect strike. He went through the progression. He looked to the right, couldn't find Howry, and then went back to his tight end.
22-yard pickup on 3rd down 11 for Oregon. Ball sits just outside the 41. They'll go with a run this time to Maurice Morris, and Morris hits midfield, and he's close to another first down. There was a big hole left side of center, and the fellow who occupies that spot is big old Ryan Schmidt from Lake Oswego.
Well, watch the white jerseys and watch them fire off here and try to control this line of scrimmage. This is pretty much zone blocking. Don't do a whole lot. Everybody gets their blocks. The back picks up number 77, Leslie, and they pick up the first down.
So Oregon getting off the hook on 3rd and 11 now, picks up another first. The opening possession of the ball game. A little bit of an overcast today, very comfortable. The Oregon Ducks, however, on their side of the field have the coolers blowing that fine little mist. It makes them feel like home. This is Smith coming to the right side, and he'll get the ball to midfield. If Oregon wins today on your Sprint PCS game fact, it will be their 500th win. UCLA has 490 wins. The Bruins have not been in business quite as long as the Ducks.
When did Ducks start? That was 18 something. Long time.
Ask me hard questions. 106 years they've been playing football.
Well, I watched some TV special yesterday about college football, and you're everything.
2nd down and 3. And that's your first down. Ontario Smith went to school at Tennessee. He is from the Sacramento area. He's a sophomore at Oregon. He went off to Tennessee, played his freshman year, and played some as a freshman. Didn't like it, came back to Oregon.
Keith, I want to show you something now. This is a tendency that UCLA is trying to read. Anytime that back is right behind Harrington, they like to run the ball. If he's offset and they put a guy over here, then they'll pass the ball. But this is a tendency that they've shown, and as well as they're balanced, that is something that UCLA is looking for in this ball game. When they're offset, they like to throw a pass.
Ducks are on the UCLA side of the field, just inside the 46-yard line for a first down. Harrington gives it back to Ontario Smith, and he's down to the 40. He picked up 6 yards on the carry. Well, they're calling it 2nd down and 5. It's not quite 5. They go back to Smith, and he's hit right at the line of scrimmage. I mean, El Huaco by Robert Thomas. He'll fall ahead for 1 yard, which will bring up 3rd down and 4.
Thomas reading again that they're in the dot. That means right behind Harrington. So he's looking for the run, steps up. He gets into that hole so fast after he reads his keys, there's no chance for the linebacker to make a cut.
This has got pass all over it. Pass is in the air. It is caught by Parker, fighting with Manning, and it's going to be inside the 10-yard line. First down and go. Matt Ware it is, and it's first down and goal for the Oregon Ducks. Matt Ware, the bigger man, 6'3", but Sammy Parker at 5'10" outfought him for the ball.
Second time lack of communication for UCLA. Just like basketball, the defense has to talk. They've got to be yelling ball, ball, ball. This was great coverage, but he couldn't locate the ball. Couldn't knock it away. Never had a chance because the offensive guy was the only one that knew where the ball was. They've got to talk on defense and give these guys heads up when they're in coverage.
Manning was the man against him previously, but Ricky had gone to the field side, and he's still at the field side now as Oregon comes up. First down and goal. We'll call it official at the 8-yard line. Ontario Smith picks up 2 on the carry, and he was a half a whisker from breaking it. He almost popped to the outside. Marcus Anderson getting the tackle, and it's Anderson who's slow to get up.
You know, they say statisticians can make numbers look any which way you want to, but I'll tell you this. These numbers are results. This doesn't lie.
Anderson is leaving the field holding his left shoulder and arm, and Kevin Brandt comes in to replace him at the safety position.
But let me tell you what the deal is here. I'm surprised Marcus Anderson was able to play at all today. He's got torn cartilage away from his rib cage. He played last week with it and didn't practice this week until Thursday, and then he started today.
Second and goal from the 6-yard line for the Ducks. Harrington keeping the ball, trying to run it up, and still got it. Dives in, touchdown. How about that? The big Irishman wouldn't go. He just dropped his shoulder and plowed on in.
You see what they do inside the red zone, and it scored touchdowns, big touchdowns. They sent it back out, then they come on down the line. Now look at the read. I'm going to ask you to stop this. Right here, it looks like he should have pitched it, right? Look, there's nobody out here. But all of a sudden, these guys don't wrap. He slides out somehow from Fort Bruins and scores a touchdown. Big, strong back. Not a great read, but he made it pay off.
And the try for the point now with Jared Siegel. Low line drive, but it finds the hole, and it's 7-0 Oregon at 4 minutes and 31 seconds to play in the first quarter. So in their second possession, they profit some from a holding call against the Bruins, go 74 yards at 8 plays to lead it 7-0. Seven to nothing, the Oregon Ducks finally finding their way through some confusion in the first couple of possessions. And we've got 4.5 minutes to go in the first quarter of play. The Ducks will kick it away. Kicking the ball off for the Oregon Ducks should be Siegel. It is. Arroyo does it sometimes. Siegel hooks it toward the corner, and the reception is made by Matthew Clark. And he gets it not quite to the 20. They'll take him down at the 18-yard line. They're shuffling through their roster for obvious reasons. DeShaun Foster is not there, and you see here what goes with him when he leaves the roster.
75% of UCLA's rushing offense and 48% of their offensive touchdowns. So you lose a lot. I'll tell you this offense now is going to have to, we talked about accountability. They really have to get something going here. They cannot afford to go 3 and out like they did last time. They have to keep Harrington and that Oregon offense off the field and give their defense a rest.
This is Harris. And he has a pretty good turn on the corner, gets up for 8 yards on that play. Bob Toledo commenting on the loss of DeShaun Foster because of the extra benefits ruling. Had this to say yesterday.
The NC2A came in this week and claimed that he had been taking advantage of an extra benefit, and that he would be suspended for the upcoming game against Oregon, and then they'll have further research, if you want to call it that, and see what else is there, and it's a real possibility that he could be suspended for the whole year.
Paws throwing the ball, going deep with it, has a man open, pass is completed to Ryan Smith, and Smith is across midfield and out of bounds near the 45-yard line. Steve Smith was covering on the play, pushed him out.
Well, the extra benefit rule is clear in the way it's written. So DeShaun Foster knew the rule, and regardless of what comes out of the investigation, the rule was broken, and so he's sitting out. He'll sit out today. He'll sit out, who knows, probably the rest of the season, as Bob Toledo pretty much alluded to there, because this investigation now is just getting underway.
That was a 30-yard pickup on a perfectly thrown ball to Ryan Smith, and now it is first down UCLA at the Oregon 46-yard line. Balls turns and gives to Akil Harris. He's a 200-pounder, and he smacks in there pretty well. And here now is a penalty flag.
Yeah, see,
after the play.
And that's just that's a no-brainer. That is a dumb penalty foul. Two guys going after it after the whistle. And if this is against UCLA, it's exactly the thing that they don't need.
After the play, personal foul,
against Oregon.
defense, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Well, that's a big penalty against the Oregon Ducks. Bolander was one of those involved, the UCLA left tackle. And the funny thing about that is Bolander is from Kaiser, Oregon, not far from Eugene.
Yeah, just watch the end of this play. This is a pretty good run by Harris. But then if you watch the end of it, guys really start to get after it. Now, I call this a dumb foul, and it is a dumb foul. And nobody knows better than I, because I'm dumber than all of them. I had a lot of these. But, you know, once that whistle blows, stop it, guys.
It is first down, UCLA at the Oregon 26-yard line. Ducks are leading 7-0, but they give it away. You got Matt Ware in at quarterback running an option play. Number 17 just came in at quarterback. He opened the game as a cornerback. He steps up, takes a snap, and goes whistling around right in and picked up almost a first down. And he was a very good high school quarterback, and he did get the first down.
Well, he's sure to be a freshman All-American. He's got those 5 interceptions defensively. The most versatile player since Champ Bailey running quarterback. We might see him at wide receiver. Here's what you talked about, Keith. In high school as a senior, what he did at the quarterback position. He can do it. He practiced this week, closed practices, and the defense had a tough time stopping him.
Corey Paws is back at quarterback now. And the ball to Harris. Harris won't have much on that one. Ball is resting at the Oregon 13-yard line. They had it first down at the 15, pickup of 2.
And why not, Keith? Open up the playbook, make up a playbook, have some fun. These guys are down. They've lost 2 in a row. And after you lose your chance at the national title, everybody was talking about it. They were 6-0. You know, how do you get them back? Well, you get them back by having some fun. Let's play this game the way it was meant to be played, like it was in the backyard, and that's have fun.
Looking around to see if I can find Ware. He slips in and out of there. He's quite an athlete. And the up man, it goes to Jeremiah Stansbury, the fullback, and he plows down to about the 10-yard line, and they're still going after each other after the whistle. 4 of them knocking each other around in the end zone. Ball is marked at the 10-yard line.
We've talked so much about the very potent Oregon Ducks and how explosive they are offensively. Keep in mind, let's not forget, UCLA averages 30 points a game.
Well, they come up with double wide, top of the picture. Send Harris in motion. Paws throwing, corner. Caught it. First down, 1st and goal, UCLA. The pass caught by Ryan Smith. He got out there all by himself.
Ryan's really become a clutch receiver for them this year. Got a lot of playing time when Coley Dixon was out those couple of games with that bad shoulder. But Ryan Smith has shown a lot of versatility, and he's a sure-handed guy, and I think Corey Paws has become very comfortable with him in go-to situations. He's become the big play guy.
If he turns left, he might have scored. Tight ends everywhere. Hand it to the fullback. Howard to the goal line, did not get in. Jeremiah Stansbury, he is stopped at the 1-yard line.
Oregon has outstanding linebackers in Moretti, Mitchell, and Mallard. Those are the leading tackler, second tackler, and third leading tackler. But their eyes have to get big as saucers when they see Jeremiah Stansbury coming after him. He's 260 pounds, and he gets up in the hole quickly for a big guy. Boom, here's the collision. And then look at the drive. Great effort to keep him out of the end zone, and Keith Lewis gets some accolades there.
Paws gives it to Harris. He dives. Touchdown, Bruins.
Now we've got a ball game. Forget about the last 2 weeks. UCLA mentally's got to be in this thing.
Interesting, however, in both touchdown drives, the defense committed a big foul. That might have helped produce the 2 touchdown drives. 1 for each team. We're even as the kick is good by Chris Griffith. 1 minute and 18 seconds to play in the first quarter, and it's 7-7.
Partner, we've talked about this, about how fragile UCLA has been the last 2 weeks. We'll see if this can get them over that hump.
Bixby will kick it off. Amundsen and Sammy Parker will wait for it for Oregon, and Akil Harris getting the touchdown as he started at tailback today. Manuel White has not played yet.
One of the big plays, Matt Ware moving to quarterback. Picks up a big game.
The kick is hammered. It'll go beyond the field of play and come out to the 20-yard line. That's Peel and Moshe. And they run it with Morris. And Morris runs into his own man and goes down. He ran right up the back of Justin Peel as we come to the end of the first quarter of play at a 7-7 tie at the Rose Bowl. An ABC Sports presentation of college football returns after this message and a word from our ABC stations. We go to the second quarter of play here at the Rose Bowl. Oregon and UCLA in a big Pac 10 ball game, especially for the Oregon Ducks. One of 3 teams with 1 loss. Second down, 10.
Offset backfield, look for a pass. Wide open.
In the air, a lot of air under it. He's got Keenan Howry, and he's all the way down to the UCLA 35-yard line. First down, Oregon. Harrington was under pressure, put a lot of air under the ball, and Howry tracked it down.
One of UCLA's keys when they have that offset backfield, they're going to pass. See what kind of pressure they get on him. He has time. Boy, he does put some air under it. It looked like he was aiming up in the sky when he threw it. Here's that little rub off we were talking about. They rub off Howry. That's the play we showed you at the pregame. They rub him off. They get him free, and the ball's out there waiting for him. That play is so well designed. Nicely done.
He picked up 5 yards by letting Manning go by him. Ball is on the 34 where they put it, and first down for Oregon. This is Morris to the 30, and he took a lick from Robert Thomas.
Robert Thomas, the leading tackler, captain of this defense. Bob Toledo calls him the Cobra, coils and then strikes. 18 tackles last week. Looked at me last night. He says, how many do I need tomorrow? I said, you better get 20. This is a very, very balanced, potent attack. And boy, he's got up against it today. It's a good offense.
Second down, 6. Pitch it back to Morris. Cuts inside by one of the linebackers and breaks free. Got a great block from Howry. Touchdown.
Stepped out, I believe, on the
3-yard line. One field judge called him in, and the other trailing linesman said nope. Short flew at the 3.
Another one of those situations where they had him in the backfield. Watch the ball come up, contain here, got him locked, and can't get him down. Can't get the cloth, can't rip him down. They come to the outside, you've got containment, make the tackle now. But they're diving, they're throwing arms, they're coming up with air. And this is a terrific run. And he steps out right there. Good call by the official.
First and goal from the 3. Harrington, quarterback keeper, no, short. Ricky Manning was the Thomas was the man at the bottom of the pile. He had his legs, and everybody came flying in. Safeties, corners, and everybody.
We've got to remember this drive was kept alive by the roughing personal foul. A dumb penalty that kept the drive alive, and now it's going to pay off for Oregon.
Early in the second quarter of play, a 7-7 tie. Morris is the deep back. Power to the right side. Go to Morris, and he walks in. So the Ducks cash in the penalty and being able to keep the ball after a 4th down and 10 penalty call against UCLA, and they cash it in.
Goal line defense is so difficult because you want to anticipate the snap so you can get to the line of scrimmage and hopefully make the tackle not at the line of scrimmage but a yard deep. That time UCLA was guessing. They flinched. They were off balance when the ball was actually snapped. And you're right, he got in rather easily.
Siegel for the point. A freshman from Sacramento. Nothing to it. 14-7 Ducks. At 13:20 to go in the first half. So, your turn, UCLA, coming up. 14-7, Oregon leads. Ducks will kick it off now. Bruins waiting to return it in persons of Matthew Clark and Manuel White. Siegel pounds it. That's deep back into the end zone. 5, 6, 7 yards. And it'll come out to the 20. Harris is the tailback. Jeremiah Stansbury the fullback. It's Harris. He may lose the ball. It almost came out, but he kept control of it.
I think it did come out, and they just recovered it. Yeah.
And Safer on it.
Safer got on it. You look at the Nissan Drive Summer, UCLA's 2 possessions, 3 and out the very first time. Missed a pass, short run, just couldn't get anything going, and then punted. And then the last time they went on that 82-yard drive, and they needed that badly. They need this badly. They need to move the chains, keep Harrington on the sideline.
2nd down and 8, falls back to throw. Looking all day and finally throws it and completes it. The ball is caught by Foley Dixon, and he's beyond the marker for a 1st down, out around the 32-yard line.
Great protection that time by the offensive line. We talked about the line getting healthy again. Troy Danoff is back. Shane Lehman is back. Danoff, the best offensive lineman, has a sprained right ankle. He's got a bad shoulder. John Ream, the freshman, had to start there last week, but he's now back. Offensive line's getting healthy, and that time gave Corey Paws just tons of time to find a receiver.
Oregon likes to play fast. Fast. UCLA so far is not letting it, but they do lead 14-7. Occurs, and they hand it off to Akil Harris. And Harris is down at the line of scrimmage. And here's Todd.
Quickly, Keith, Ed Jeremiah Stansbury right now, they're listing him as questionable. At first they thought he'd come right back, but he's not responding to the drills they're putting him through. They're going to retape his ankle, but he said right now best case scenario is he gets back in the 2nd half. Keith?
Okay. 2nd down and 10 for UCLA.
Corey Paws at wide receiver now. Quarterback, Matt Ware.
No, it's snapped it straight back to Akil Harris. And Harris, I told you we'd see a single wing before the day was over, and that was pretty close to it.
It was close to it. When I saw Corey Paws come out to wide receiver, I immediately thought, well, Matt Ware's back in there. But then they have that snap, and that is like the single wing.
Yep. But the average high schooler today probably has no clue about how to block it. Paws rolling out. Gets his pass away. He's got a man wide open. I mean, wide open. Brian Foley Dixon down the sideline. Rasuli Webster was coming across, but he was a good 6 yards away from him when he caught the ball.
Just a wheel pattern. And the safety didn't get over in time. They had 2 deep coverage, cover 2. The cornerback has to give him up to the safety, and he just goes free. Again, Corey looking over there the whole time, though. He knows he wants to get over there. He liked the coverage and wanted to get to him as quickly as possible. And there was nobody near him. Great footwork, great body control by Foley Dixon.
Back they go to Harris. He broke the first wall and gets it inside the 15 and down to the 12. A yard short of a 1st down.
Well, you look at these 2 teams, you see so many athletes, quality players, both sides. But for UCLA, you really feel like they're grabbing. I mean, they're really grinding, trying to make something happen. And it's critical that they score again here.
This is Harris. I want to tell you what, big old Matt Stanley threw a heck of a block. He got locked on the defender and just rode him right out of the play. And put the ball down at the 7, where it is 1st and goal for the Bruins.
Well, here's big old Matt Stanley right there. Watch when he comes over and locates a white jersey. Here he comes on the corner, seal the corner, put him on his back, ride him out, and let Akil go in off his butt. Hey, your eyes are still like a cat.
Yeah. It costs $1,200 to get these fancy binoculars.
I thought you were going to tell me for LASIK.
That's Harris diving inside the 5 to the 4.
He stumbled his last 2 carries as he was trying to make a cut. There was a high school football game played here last night, and the field is a little bit torn up.
Second down and goal from the 4-yard line for UCLA. Harris again to the 2, maybe.
That'll bring up third down. Oregon defense hanging tough inside the 10.
Here comes David Moretti back in there to linebacker position. And Steve Smith, the corner, comes out. Well, they don't believe the Bruins are going to be picking on a corner here. Pause pitches to Harris. Harris is dragged down short of the line of scrimmage. Good defensive play by Garrett Graham. The extra linebacker was in there, and you saw the corner come out, Smith. So they had 4 backers in, and they go right as Oregon perhaps thought they would. And Nick Aliotti has got to be happy with the way things are going for his defensive troops.
His job is containment, flood control, don't let anybody around the corner, and he gets there, and great job by Garrett Graham. And he stops the touchdown. They settle for a field goal.
Try. Chris Griffith from 20 yards. He's good. He's got it. Chris Griffith, the junior from Gardnerville, Nevada, pops it through there, and it's a 14-10 ball game. So after the first half, it's Oregon 14 and UCLA 10. So this decision is very much in doubt. ABC Sports presentation of college football returns after this message and the word from our ABC station. We're at 14-10 here at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena with Oregon leading UCLA. That is not exactly a surprise. The most startling news so far today, Tim, in the Pac 10 is 35-10 halftime, Oregon State leading Washington.
We were talking about Washington being a fourth quarter team. That's going to be some fourth quarter to come back there. Oregon State loaded with talent, and everybody knows that. It's just been one of those off years for them. But Dennis Erickson is a fine coach too. You know he had them ready for them.
Where do we go here now?
You have the feeling that both teams are sluggish. Don't you feel that way?
I do.
And they really haven't gotten off the dime yet. You feel like they're ready to break loose, and that might be here in the second half. But if you look at the statistics, 2 things that jump out at me. The sacks. Now, coming into this game, Harrington had only been sacked 7 times. Today's been down twice already. And then look at the penalty yards. This is what we were talking about earlier, Keith. 3 penalties for each team, a lot of yardage. That looks like the first or second game rather than this late in the season.
Each one of those scoring possessions was marked by a 15-yard assisting penalty. So the penalty flag has been very prominent. Just key moments of this ball game.
But remember this, UCLA has outscored opponents 93-10 in the third quarter, and that's what we're starting.
And the Bruins will have the ball first as Siegel kicks off. Ball is hanging to the corner, and it's at the 4-yard line for Matthew Clark. And he's got some daylight. And he runs out of it up around the 23-yard line.
You know, coming into this ball game, we talked about Matt Ware might play some quarterback. They were getting to their athletes, and he did. He had 2 runs for 14 yards. He had 1 reception for another 49 yards. 63 yards of total offense for a guy that came in to this game with 5 interceptions. He also had 2 tackles and a breakup on defense, so he's looking more and more like the guy we talked about earlier, Champ Bailey and Charles Woodson, guys like that. He's having that kind of impact in this particular game, and he's just a freshman.
All right, let's see who comes out here. It'll be Akil Harris at the tailback position. You've got Corey Paws. Fox goes in motion, number 86, and Corey Paws, the quarterback, gives the ball to the tailback Harris. And Harris is hit almost immediately by Wesley Mallard. And it'll go down after about a 2-yard pickup.
They run that counter tray, and of course that was DeShaun Foster's big play, but it just didn't look like it's developing quickly today like it normally does. Look at this. 139 yards a game for DeShaun Foster. Akil Harris comes in. He's got 42 and a touchdown.
Well, that's in a half. But if he picks up another 42, it'll be 84. That won't be too bad.
No, he's a talented player.
Ball's back throwing. Down the middle, he's got his man, Coley Dixon. Coley Dixon's been out with a separated shoulder. He took a wicked hit right there and went down on the shoulder, but he's all right. And it's first down, UCLA at the 46-yard line, Oregon side.
Looked just like a post pattern. I mean, he's not trying to do anything real fancy. Drive him off, break to the middle, little half move, and then the ball was waiting for him. That's a well-thrown ball. Not a difficult pattern. And again, he's working on Rasheed Bowman.
Keith Lewis was the man that brought him down. Coley Dixon's caught 4 balls now for 110 yards.
Lewis coming over from that safety spot, thought a big hit might knock that ball loose.
Coley Dixon's out there by himself to the top of the picture. Pause, getting pressure, dumps it in a hurry. The ball is completed to Dennis Fox. And he will have a first down for the Bruins as they're marching it right down the field now. Inside the 25, put it on the 23.
Starting to hear some names we haven't heard earlier in the season. Dennis Fox being one of those. He's a tight end. Brian Fletcher, Mike Seidman, Blaine Kazarian. Those are the tight ends you hear about. Now Fox comes in, makes a nice big play.
Bruins moving right along here to start this third quarter. Oregon leading 14-10. Harris gets it.
That offensive line for UCLA now just exploding off the ball.
They just blew him 3 yards. Bent him right back to 3 yards. Running downhill.
Just watch the blue jerseys against the whites. The explosion off the line. Here comes the ball carrier, and you think, well, he's just at the line of scrimmage. But already the blue jerseys have their guys down in the field, as Keith said, 3 or 4 yards.
Second down and 7. Harris going to the right side. For a moment had a hole, late to get there, and will pick up a yard.
Boy, that's a big-time play by Keith Lewis. So you're right, he's off to the races. Lewis came over from a safety spot to knock him off just when he thought he had that clearing.
Brian Fletcher's hurt. Tied in, holding his ankle. He'll have to leave the game.
Dodge drive summary, 7 plays, 58 yards. Eating up 3.5 minutes.
And look at it, 3rd down and 7. I say 8 there, but it's 7.
Yeah, and it's a big 3rd down too, Keith.
Ball is slapped it just as he released it. Either the ball was hit as it left his hand, or his hand was hit and it falls incomplete, and it'll be 4th down.
I thought he was trying to pull it back. I thought he misread the receiver and was trying to pull it back just as he was ready to release it.
Well,
watch the end of this. He's reading the receiver, and the receiver's reading the defensive back. So Paws thinks he's going long. He's ready to throw deep, sees he pulls back, and so he tries to hold on to the ball and reload.
37-yard line. 37-yard field goal from the 27-yard line. And it's good. Chris Griffith with that big leg bangs it on in there, and it's a 1-point ball game. 14-13, Oregon still leading. $14-13 ball game for the Bruins, and they will kick off to Allen Amundsen and Sammy Parker. Amundsen 34, Parker number 1, and Nate Fixie kick it away.
Both dangerous, but Parker can flat out fly.
If he has a chance, and he's not going to because he's knocked it out of town.
Now we'll see what happens here offensively for Joey Harrington, who really has not been sharp today. And the defense, we'll find out what kind of adjustments Phil Snow has made with the Bruins defense.
Harrington is 4 for 10, 95 yards. He's been sacked twice. Throwing on first down. Ball's away underneath. Justin Field tied in at the 26-yard line. He'll stop there.
Well, Oregon had a lot of success rushing the football early on. It was Harrington. He just disappeared through 4 Bruins, ducked and let them go by, and he scored. And then what a first half from Morris. Maurice Morris, 9 carries over 100 yards and a touchdown. So the Ducks had a lot of success running the ball, and you would think that would open up the passing game. We'll find out in this quarter if, in fact, it does.
Harrington's ball is thrown way off the mark. I mean, he missed his man by 5 yards.
Looked like a misread, but it's almost a good thing. It's another one of those good incompletions because he was going after Howry, and Howry was covered really well by Marcus Anderson.
Jason Willis was on the field, and he had cut back inside, and that just left all that open space. It is 3rd down and 17 now for Oregon, leading by a point, 14-13. Throws underneath to Morris. Needs a block. Can't get it. Flag down.
Keith, remember we used to watch Dat Wynn run to the football? That's the way Thomas does.
Oregon holding. So that holding call, Bruins may want to back them up with it. I don't know. With 3rd and 17 would make it 3rd and 27.
That's the right call, but it'll break your heart if Harrington throws for a first.
It will.
Holding. Holding. Offense. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
It's 4th down.
Keith, this is another one of those ball positional things where you have to be alert for the fake if you're on defense.
I guess it was the Oklahoma quarterback that they pop it up in the air trying to kill it deep, and it's going to be killed deep. It'll be 3-yard line where the UCLA Bruins will have it. Jason Willis caught it and downed it, so that's a very effective punt. Time remaining 3rd quarter, 6:17. From the 3-yard line, UCLA's possession starts with Manuel White at tailback, the big guy. That's what he brings, muscle, and he's picked up just about a 1st down. Let's check in with Todd.
Well, Keith, it has been a tumultuous week this week in Westwood. On Monday, UCLA Athletic Director Peter Dallas announced his resignation after 19 years at the helm in Westwood. On Tuesday, assistant track coach John Smith announced he was done and would leave. And then on Wednesday, Heisman Trophy candidate DeShaun Foster was suspended for at least 1 game and maybe more. But despite all that, the Bruins still in this game at 14-13.
2nd down and 1. White picked up 9 yards, and this time he tried to plant and skated a little bit instead. And I don't know if he got the 1st down or not. Close.
I think he got enough for the first.
Igor Olshansky made the tackle for the Ducks. Redshirt freshman out of San Francisco. Got their 1st down. Wasn't that what they used to accuse the football players of being, Tim? Not being aware? Are they becoming too aware?
Yeah,
I don't know.
lack of common sense, I think, by a lot of people on both sides of the fence.
1st down. Back goes Paul's throwing, and it's incomplete. That was intended for Foley Dixon. He went down awkwardly, and he may have hurt that shoulder.
Yeah, he's got his left hand tucked, doesn't he?
Yep. He kind of fell on it and slid and pressured there. Caught the weight he's going by. So Keith Lewis has said, why don't you go have some rest and get out of the ball game? Why don't you just go over there and sit down? Leave us alone.
You know, Corey Paws knows a well-thrown ball here, and he's got a completion because he had him out there. But you see that left arm goes down first, and he kind of slides in that direction, as you said, awkwardly. So now Ryan Smith comes in.
On 2nd and 10, Paws going to throw it again, rolling it left, getting some heat. And they got him back around the 6-yard line. Quinn Dorsey, the first guy to get him. So the Ducks put a little heat on.
You know, sacks should be a rare occurrence in college football now, especially since they changed the rules to protect the quarterback. you start to feel that pressure. Now slide. See, he's outside the tackle. You can throw that away. Don't go back into the pocket. Stay outside and just throw it away, because you can throw that ball anywhere and intentionally ground it now, the way the rules have let you get outside the tackle if you're a quarterback.
Now the Bruins are looking at 3rd down and 17, and if the Ducks can pin them, they'll get the ball back with good field position. Shotgun for Paws. Orr's in the end zone. Gets it away, deep down the middle. Caught! Craig Bragg with a remarkable catch. Huge play inside the Oregon 40. Double coverage, and he caught the ball.
Gary McGraw cannot believe it. He overran the play. 23 right here. He's looking back for it. Now he keeps going. Bragg locates it and stops and catches it right behind McGraw's 23. Fortunately, Steve Smith was there to make the tackle, because I don't think McGraw had located him yet. See, 23 still looking the other way. Bragg takes that back inside if Smith's not there, and he might score.
54 yards on 3rd and 17. Wow.
Oh, that's the 3rd quarter.
Yep. Matt Ware pitches the ball back. Now Matt Ware coming around, has it on the reverse, and he's got 6 yards. Matt Ware came in at the wide position, and they run the reverse.
Take a look at the Pacific Light game summary. It's been the passing game, and they've been getting everybody involved. Smith, Coley, Dixon, Bragg. This is something that Corey Paws has done very well today, is spread the wealth. Get all the receivers involved in the passing game, and he's been very successful. And Paws now 10 of 16, 264 yards.
Akil Harris is back at tailback. 2nd down. Paws throws quickly. Ball is to Garrett Lepisco. And they'll put it at the 24-yard line for a 1st down.
Garrett has not been getting a lot of playing time either. But he comes in and he's 1 for 1. How about that? Inside receiver runs a quick slant. Pretty good play.
Well, Nick Aliotta was right. He said yesterday, look, I don't care who's not going to play tomorrow. They've still got a house full of people that were highly recruited by everybody in the country. Everybody down there can play. The ball is handed to Manny White, who's back in there at the tailback position, the big back. And he doesn't get much, a couple of yards at most.
Well, you make a good point, and you're right. He makes a good point, because here's a guy. Garrett was a safety in the spring and wasn't getting a whole lot of playing time. He saw the guys that were on the 1st and 2nd units and said, hey, listen, I'm not going to have a shot here. So he goes over to receiver. He's Kevin's roommate on the road, and he's saying last night, you know, with guys banged up, I might get a shot. Well, he did, and he made it pay off, and he made a catch.
Ryan Smith comes to the bottom of the picture as the wideout. White is the tailback. White's got it. Got a 1st down. You know, UCLA's driving the ball, Tim. They're going downhill again.
Yeah, and this is power football. They're saying, hey, look, straight ahead, no fair dodging. Here we come. Give it to the big running back. Get the tackle in front of him. Get the guard pulling, and then carry some tacklers. This is just jam it right down your throat. Here we come. It's the 3rd quarter. We own it, and that was a big-time power play. 10 plays, 84 yards in this drive.
Started at the 3-yard line. This is White. From the 13, pounds his way down close to the 7.
Seth McEwen made the tackle, and it looked like he was wrestling one of those big old bulls in a rodeo.
That same size. Put it on the 8-yard line where it is 2nd down and 5.
Straight eye.
Back to White. Yeah, it's a big back. 250 pounds roughly. And he went sideways for a while, but then he turned it upfield and with his size and power made something out of it. Aerial coverage today provided by the Monster.com blimp. 130 feet long, 40 feet tall, and weighs about 2,700 pounds when it's empty. Of course, when it's empty, it's in the garage. Six-yard line now. Third down.
Big third down play here for UCLA.
Matt Ware is in the ball game. And where's he going? He's going to quarterback. Where's the quarterback? Running, running, running. Oregon looking. And they got him, and they got him short of the first down, looks like.
I'll tell you what, though, Keith, I think in this situation now, they're going to be about a yard shy, maybe less, depending on where he got the mark. I'd go for it here. Offensive line really seems to have things going. This is a team that's been searching for confidence the last 2 weeks. I think Bob Toledo can make a statement here.
Well, a field goal successfully would give him a 2-point lead in the third quarter.
Yeah, he's going to let this third quarter wind down and then make his decision as they go into the fourth.
Well, there goes the time. The third quarter is over. We played 3, and it's a 14-13 ball game. Oregon by 1. ABC Sports presentation of college football returns after this message and a word from our ABC stations. A 14-13 lead. Oregon over UCLA going to the first play of the fourth quarter. They need 1 yard for a first down and 3 yards for a touchdown. Fourth down. 4th and 1.
Give it to his big old tailback, Manuel White.
White's in there. The deep single back.
Linebackers are coming.
Pause dives.
Got it.
Well, if the mark of that linesman coming in from the far side means anything, they certainly did get it. So it's 1st and goal for the Bruins just inside the Oregon 3-yard line.
Boy, look at the push of the offensive lineman. And Corey Paws just kind of submarined everything. Tough to tell at an angle like that camera angle.
There was daylight to the left, that big old back, too. They had a choice, and they elected to go the closest to the point.
I know this is a 15-play drive. It started at the 3.
Give it to White.
Touchdown.
Touchdown for the Bruins.
Boy, if that's not a confident building drive, I don't know what is. They started on their own 3 and took it the length of the field.
Well, the ball game's going to swing when Oregon gets the ball next and see if they can respond. Here's your try for the point, and they'll kick it. They're not going to go for 2 unless they've got trickery at hand here. It's kicked. And it's good. And it's 20-14, UCLA leading for the first time today. You've got 13 minutes and 56 seconds left to play in the ball game. Oregon defense hanging their head a little bit. They're tired. They got beat up on that 87-yard drive. Pound, pound, and pound.
That is incredible. 16 plays, 97 yards. They ate up 7:21 for the clock. And you know what that does right there? That 7:21. It keeps Joey Harrington on the sideline.
He has not had a good day. Bixby about to kick it off. Smith and Parker waiting. They have not had a big return today. They're not going to have one here either because he's knocked that thing half. Oh, he's coming out with it. Oh, they're going to run a little reverse. Coming around the corner and up the sidelines. Gets it outside the 25 to about the 27. It's Keith Allen returning the ball, and that's pretty good field position for the Ducks to start the possession. Ontario Smith is the deep back for Oregon. He gets the ball. And he gets nothing on the play to speak of, maybe a yard.
Harrington not having a great day. You mentioned that 9 of 18, 134 yards. Part of the reason is UCLA's defense. They've hit him 11 times in the backfield. They sacked him 3. And remember, they only had 7 sacks coming into this game and then 10 hurries. So that's part of the reason he's not as sharp today as he has been all year.
Another part of the reason could be the receivers are not having the freedom to run the routes that they're accustomed to and he's accustomed to. Second down, 9.
Offset backfield, looks like a pass.
Quick one. Caught by Parker. And Sammy Parker is across the 45 to the 47 for a first down.
Keith, if you notice the last 2 passes, though, he's thrown with authority. I mean, a lot more zip than we saw earlier.
Ball is pitched back to Smith. Look at that. Look how quick those feet are. Down to the 40-yard line and another first down. Put it on the 39. Ben Emanuel made the tackle.
Yeah, and Marcus Anderson was left just grabbing air. I mean, grabbing air. He closed his eyes, dropped his head, and boom, the play was gone. Watch this. First of all, it's a well-designed play. Looks like it's going right. They have that quick pitch right. Here comes number 7. Whoops, gone. Great move for a big guy. He can really, it's like tap dancing on a light bulb, and all of a sudden his feet are gone.
First down at the UCLA 39-yard line. UCLA leading 20 to 14. Harrington back to throw. Gets his pass away down the middle of his court by Justin Peele, the tight end. And Justin Peele is in there. Nope, they don't give it to him once again. The Oregon man has hit the chalk at the 4-yard line. Morris hit right about the same spot in the first half. And Peele knocked off balance just a little bit by the missed tackle. Staggers and goes out of bounds.
Terrific call from a guy that was big early in the season. In the last 2 games, they've pretty much ignored him. So they're not really looking for Justin Peele, and they drag him all the way across the field. Gets lost. The linebacker can't find him, and he almost scores with this thing. But you're going to a guy who really hasn't been in the game plan the last 2 weeks. So you fall asleep, you forget about him, and he becomes a very big weapon.
2 toes out of bounds, and it's first and goal at the 4-yard line for Oregon. Smith is the beat back. He gets it. Disappears in the pile, rolls down at the 1-yard line. Robert Thomas, the principal tackler.
Well, we talked about spreading the wealth, and we talked about how Harrington gets everybody involved. You see the big game that Morris has had. Smith had that big run on this drive. Now, Peele makes a big play over here. Everybody getting involved in this game. Howry's been the fairly quiet one because they were gunning for him coming into the ball game, but everybody involved.
Second down and goal from a yard away. And it's a short yard. Smith dives. Didn't get there. They're going to mark him down right about the line of scrimmage. Coker went underneath, turned him upside down, and he didn't get there.
I'd say I really think he lost his area. He thought he was closer to the goal line than he was, and he lands on his head about a yard short. Great penetration. He dives. I think he thought he was closer to the goal line than that.
Now Coker's contact with him coming underneath probably took away some of it. Kenyon Coleman is back in now, and it's third down and goal. Harrington trying to get in, and he can't get there.
He might have fumbled it.
Well, Bruins are arguing about it, but other people say nothing to it.
You know what he did? He reached the ball forward like he was trying to break the plane with a football, and they almost had it taken away from him.
Can't start sticking it out in the face of guys like Rodney Leslie. They'll take it away from him.
Yeah, watch this now. He gets pushed back. Now watch him put it out right here, and the ball was almost, see, it's on the ground, but he got it back. UCLA was a little bit confused defensively there, too. They got away with a break. And Oregon did take advantage of it.
It was first and goal from 4 yards. Now it's fourth and goal from about 6 inches. Got to go back to Smith, I think. Now he's going to throw it. He does throw it, and the pass is caught by Josh Line, the fullback, and Oregon has scored. Well, if you're going to keep beating on a hickory tree and it's not bending, you go to something else, and he did.
Absolutely, and that's a brilliant call, and it's well done by Harrington in line, because Marcus Anderson was gunning and gambling. It was a run again, and he was cheating and didn't get over in time to cover Line, the fullback. Line, a former walk-on, does a nice job here, and watch how the play is sold. Here's Harrington, play action, and just drops it there. Sees That number 7's getting over there late. Very nicely done by Harrington end line, and a good play call by Jeff Tedford.
This is for the lead. Siegel's extra point try is up and good.
Terrific drive by Oregon when they had to have it.
So the Ducks have responded. Now, wonder what color shirt old Mo might decide to wear for a little while. Maybe neither one. And here we go. We got 9 minutes and 56 seconds to play. It's a 21-20 game. Oregon leading UCLA. Jared Siegel will kick it off. Manuel White and Matthew Clark are waiting for it. This is returnable from the 4-yard line. It's Clark.
He ran out of his shoe.
Hurdled a man and got it all the way out across the 40 to the 41-yard line, where the kicker Jared Siegel makes the tackle.
Here's
So
his
a
shoe.
big return by Clark.
His shoe's at the 5-yard line. You know, we were talking about the footing in this ball game, and you could see as soon as he caught this ball, his foot gave way. He ran right out of his shoe and still kept going and made a big gain out of it. Watch, he'll plant. There goes the shoe. Left at the 5. His sock is even halfway off.
I like the hurdle.
And he's hurdling with the sock flapping and the blockers flying, and big gain, big return.
That was a big play. The Bruins are sitting out on the 41-yard line all of a sudden. First down. Foss gives the ball to Harris. Harris runs out of one tackler's arms, and finally 2 of them getting up on him and take him down.
There's your matchup right there.
6'5" against 5'9", and Foss goes to him, and he's wide open and steps out of bounds. First down at the Oregon 48-yard line.
Now Steve Smith comes back into the ball game. Mike Bellotti not waiting for him at all. This is the matchup. UCLA knew it. They recognized it. They went right after it. Turned him around and hit him with the pass. And Mike Bellotti and Nick Aliotti get him out of there in a hurry. And don't mean to pick on more. He's just a sophomore. But that's a tough situation to come into. And so they bring Steve Smith back in a hurry.
2 minutes and 28 seconds to play.
6 catches for Poley.
Coming off injury. Run it with Harris. Bounced off the first tackler and falls across the 45.
Clock continues to move down to 2:14. UCLA's got to work here with some urgency. We're about to go under 2 minutes.
The 44-yard line. 2nd and 6. Foss gives it to Harris. Again, he tried to slide off the stack. Kevin Mitchell gets the tackle. And it's going to be 3rd and short. 3rd and about 2.
Clock continues to move. Keep down to 1:35. UCLA has all its timeouts.
Great views you're seeing today of the game, brought to us by Monster.com's Blimp Skeeter. Monster.com. Ball's right on the 40-yard line. 1 minute and 15. There's your first down.
And that'll stop the clock with 109, 108.
They have a lot of confidence in Griffith's leg.
Clock's still moving. They've got to stop the clock to move the chains.
They're going to measure, I think, see whether or not he's got a first down. They don't. Apparently, they're not convinced he does.
Well, that's still, it's got to stop the clock for a measurement.
103 shows. They might put some back on it. But they apparently are going along on the premise that this man right here, Chris Griffith, can win the game for them. Not a first down, is it? Or is it? It is. Okay.
So that stops the clock at 103. They've got to call the play, get up to the line of scrimmage, because as soon as they put this ball back in play, clock starts.
They need to get down around, what, the 15 for a good shot?
His longest is 49 yards.
Well, that's risky.
Now they start the clock. They break the huddle. We're under a minute to play.
Balls quickly. Incomplete. The ball intended for Ryan Smith. High, and he couldn't reel it in. So UCLA battling Oregon. Oregon with the 1 loss. Washington with 1 loss. The Huskers are losing big in Corvallis. Washington State's playing at Arizona State tonight. But right now, UCLA is trying to put Chris Griffiths in field goal range to win this game with 49 seconds remaining. Run Harris. Moretti got most of him, and now timeout is called by UCLA. They've got 2 left, and they've got 43 ticks on the clock. 21-20 and 43 seconds, and we'll be right back. A crowd of 78,330 watching in one of the critical ball games of the entire Pac 10 season. UCLA with 2 losses, trying to hang a loss on Oregon here. 43 seconds, 2 times out remaining, and Oregon leading by 1 point.
Of course, a lot of these people, they bought these tickets when UCLA was 6-0 and Oregon was unbeaten. This looked like this was going to be the game, the showdown for the unbeatens in the Pac 10 and for the championship.
A lot of these tickets were sold to people from Oregon. I think all looking over here in the end zone looks like a pretty good representation for the state of Oregon, and over on the other side of the corner. 78,000, a good crowd.
Big 3rd down here. They want to keep it in the middle of the field to give them a shot at that field goal.
Third down. They run it. Akil Harris is tackled back around the 33-yard line by Wesley Mallard.
Great play. Looked like he was going to get around the corner, and Mallard tracked him down from behind.
It's 4th and 5.
Boy, Mallard came out of nowhere. It right now looks like he's around the corner, and he's got it made. Mallard just lays out and catches one leg just enough to trip him up. Terrific play. Down to 10 seconds.
Well, his field goal is going to be man-sized.
5 seconds. Timeout here. You win or lose on the foot of your kicker.
2 seconds. And it's going to be what? It'll be around 50. 50, 51, 49, somewhere in that range. Let me see where the spot is. Today's Chevrolet players of the game are Maurice Morris of Oregon and Brian Poley-Dixon of UCLA. In recognition of their play today, Chevrolet making a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund. Maurice Morris with 14 carries, 129 yards, a touchdown, 2 receptions for 16 yards. Brian Poley-Dixon coming off injury, 6 catches, 149 yards.
Chris Griffith, 7 of 9. His career long, as you mentioned, is 49 yards. He hasn't hit one of 50 or longer in his career. And usually when you're kicking from this far back, you try to put a little extra in it. It comes with a low trajectory, so you can bet the Oregon players are going to be jumping and jumping high.
21-20 Oregon, and Chris Griffiths about to try a 50-yard field goal to win or lose for UCLA. Snap good, hold good, kicks up. Missed it.
Never really got into it.
Ball I don't think had enough carry, but it veered off to the right, and the Oregon Ducks continue to hold on to a share of the lead in the Pac 10, and they may be all by themselves come the morning. Who knows? But they defeat the UCLA Bruins here at the Rose Bowl by a score of 21-20.
Here's the jump. They were looking for a low trajectory, but he never really got into it. I don't know if it was long enough, but it sure was way right. Never really had a chance. Good snap, good hold. Plant looked all right. He just pushed it. He knew immediately it was wide.
So a crowd of 78,330 saw a very good college football game here at the Rose Bowl. And here's the winning coach with Tom Harris.
Well, he doesn't look real happy right now, but I think he hasn't sunk in yet, Coach. What a tremendous effort by your guys.
No, I'm very pleased. I think UCLA came back, got some momentum in the third quarter. We came back in the fourth quarter and put it in a great, exciting game for the fans. So, a little tough on the coaches, but very proud and pleased with the way our guys played.
When DeShaun Foster was declared out on Wednesday, I think a lot of people wrote off UCLA. You didn't seem to buy into that.
No, in fact, actually it scared me a lot more. We knew what we were getting into with DeShaun. We didn't know in terms of the team and how they would respond to that. I think it was a tremendous challenge. I give UCLA credit. They played their tails off today.
Huge win for Mike Bellotti and his Ducks. Congratulations, Coach.
Thanks, guys.
And it'll be 21 days before the Oregon Ducks play again when they go up against Oregon State on December 1st. Once again, our final score, Oregon 21, UCLA 20. Now we go to John Saunders, Terry Bowden, Times Square Stadium.